Hi everyone. I feel like I was born to be a mom. It's like the only thing when I was younger and people would be like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I wanted to be a wife and I wanted to be a mom, and here I am, a wife and a mom. But there was one thing that was absolutely the worst about being a mom. I feel like it would bring down my day every day. I dreaded it. I didn't like it when it was happening. And that would be deciding what we were going to have for dinner and having dinner, because it was such a terrible time in the day. One, everyone is so picky. So finding stuff to eat that everyone would like was hard and draining. And I also would put so much pressure on myself, like we had to eat healthy stuff, and I was trying to get them to eat new things, and I there's a lot of pressure from the outside saying, oh, your kids are only like that because you let them be like that, and a lot of pressure like, just make them eat it or they'll starve. And I tried all the things, like getting the right food, being healthy, being strict, saying you're going to eat this or that. The consequence is, the problem is, one of my kids, if not two of them, are like, okay. If I'm like, you're either going to eat this or you're not having dessert or you're not eating anything else for breakfast, they're like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow at breakfast, because there's certain things that they just would not eat. But over the past several months, it's only been like several months, and my oldest daughter is 17, my youngest child is 8. I started coming up with this system that has made this time better, has not made me, anxious, or when it gets to be close to dinner time, like, oh, here we go again, and I didn't want to go through the fighting of the food, or even the, like, I would dread it so much that I wouldn't plan anything for dinners, and then when it come close to dinner, what are we having for dinner? I don't know. Like, I saw a meme once that said something like, no one ever told me adulting was deciding what we were going to have for dinner every night of the week for the rest of our lives. And I felt that so much, because I wanted them to eat healthy. I wanted them to, I didn't want them to be picky. I didn't want us to go other places and people say that they were too picky. So I put so much pressure on myself about all that. And so over the past couple months, I came up with a system that has made dinner time so much more easier, relaxing, has made our family time better, or sitting around the table eating dinner. On like Friday, because I didn't want to do it on the weekends when I'm spending time with my kids, I would make a dinner list, and I would make it go from Monday like to the next Monday, or like Tuesday to the next Monday. And I would plan out what all of our dinners were going to be, and then I would put it in my grocery store app, what ingredients I need. And I used to do grocery pickup on Mondays, and it would save a lot of time, and it was easier. But the place I go charges $2 every time you shop, which you think that's not a lot, but one, it adds up. And we are definitely in a season of trying to save money and not spend. We live on one income, which is great because of the time we get to spend together. It frees up, like time when we're planning stuff, but you really have to pay attention to the money you spend. So besides the $2 extra a week that I would be paying to pick up the groceries, the place that I picked them up from started not doing great. Like, they would just put in different stuff. Like, it wouldn't even be on a substitution list where you could decide. Like, sometimes, I don't know if they just grabbed the wrong thing or thought, oh well, and they'd put in different stuff that I didn't order. And when you have really picky people, you need the stuff that you order. And especially in the produce section, like, the stuff would come and it would already be like half rotten. And they were pretty good about, if you reported it, they would credit you back your money. But when you need your groceries and you only want to go to the store once a week, that wasn't helpful. So starting today, I'm just gonna go in on Mondays and do my own shopping. So I thought I'd make this quick video before I go shopping, and then I'll try and take you with me in the store. But one of the things I told you, that I start planning out the week. So this is our list of what we're having for the week. And then throughout the week, I'm going to try and film each night to show you the meals, maybe just to give you ideas. Nothing I'm making here is like fancy chef stuff. It's like easy stuff that I try and balance, getting them a little bit of healthy stuff, a little bit of protein, a little bit of vegetables, but also picking stuff that I know they will eat. And since I've been doing this, they've actually been, since I've stopped putting the pressure on them and me that we need to eat healthy, we need to eat better, we can only eat what's on our plate, we have to eat this. Everything's become more relaxed, and I see them even trying more stuff. It's like I stopped putting the pressure on, they stopped feeling the pressure, and now all of us are relaxed, and their eating has actually gotten a little better. But so I'm going to get all the groceries. This is for the whole list of the week for dinners. When I go to the store on Monday, or when I used to pick up, now when I'm going to go to the store, I get our whole week of dinners, lunches, snacks, desserts. We gotta have our desserts tonight. And so I try and do it all at 1 week, and I feel like that has also helped save us money because, you know, when you go to the store, you always see a few more things you might want to pick up. So if you're going several times during the week, you're picking up a few extra things each week. And it has also made us all like, this is what we have for the week. So if we eat it all up at the beginning of the week, if you want to eat all your snacks at the beginning of the week, you're going to go the rest of the week without snacks because we're not going to the store till next Monday. So that's just how we've been doing it to save money and to try and have a little more control over just eating all the time. But here we go to the store. Okay, we're done shopping. I did film what I was throwing in the cart, but I held the camera the wrong way, so I don't know if you could put those two different kinds of videos together. So I'll just make a short with what's in the cart. I had a request for that anyway. But we're going home to unload all this. Okay, I'm home from the grocery store. I got everything out, and I thought since the other video of putting stuff in my cart didn't really work, I would kind of show you what I was getting. This is everything I got for a family of 5 for a whole week. This is breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, everything. We won't go grocery shopping again until next Monday. And the total was $240.18. So I have my dinner list, so I'll just show you some of the stuff I got for the dinner list, and then I will try and show you as the week goes on if I prepare it. So tonight we're having chicken. There's 2 packs of chicken because when I make this, they eat a lot. I'll just cut it up in little pieces with some seasoning and stuff. And today with it, we're having some mashed potatoes, and we got a whole bunch of vegetables, so I'll just pick one to go with that. Tomorrow is my husband's birthday, so we're having what we call daddy tacos, which when I make tacos, it's just, we use probably a healthier wrap, some regular cheese, but they're sort of the same as daddy tacos. But when my husband makes them, they're so much better, so much worse for you, so much better. But so we started calling them daddy tacos when my kids were little, and we still call them. So that's what he requested at his birthday dinner. We get regular flour shells. He fries the shells in oil, and instead of using like regular cheese, we use sliced Velveeta. That's so good. And then there's some shredded lettuce, and there's some Roma tomatoes somewhere in here. Let's see. Oh, here they are. So we'll have that tomorrow night for dinner. And since it's his birthday, I would not call myself a baker if someone asked me, but my son's birthday was like a week and a half ago, and I made him a cake, and my husband said it was the best cake that he ever had, so he requested it for his birthday. So it's just a chocolate cake mix, chocolate icing, there'll be Kit Kats around it. I'll try and put in a little video of what it looked like, but I'm gonna make that for his dessert. And then on Wednesday, we're gonna have stir fry. I already have the meat in the freezer. My husband is a deer hunter, so we have some meat in there I'm using for the stir fry. And I already have 1 red pepper, so I got a yellow pepper and onion. And this stir fry sauce is like the best stir fry sauce ever. And we'll have that with some brown rice, which I already have, so I didn't have to buy that either. So the next night is meatloaf, macaroni and cheese, and we'll have a vegetable. And I have all that stuff because that was going to be a meal we made last week. And then due to timing and stuff, we had to make some changes. So I already have all that stuff for today. Then on Friday night, my son absolutely, his like favorite food is this Ragu Alfredo sauce with these bow tie farfalle noodles. And he always requests it. My daughter hates it, so she's working on Friday. So I'll be making that for them. I love actual long spaghetti, and I like to get the whole wheat. I feel like it's a little healthier. I don't know if it is, but we love this Ragu sauce. So I'll mix these 2 together. I'll make these in a separate pan, mix them together. We got these little garlic knots, and we'll have one of the frozen vegetables, and that'll be Friday's dinner. Saturday, we're making burgers, and we're gonna have these little crispy mini tater tots. We're kind of sick of like frozen French fries, but these mini tater tots, if you cook them super long, longer than the package says, they're so delicious. The burgers will also be making out of deer meat, so I did get buns, and we have some sliced cheese over there and stuff, so that meat is taken care of. Sunday, church day. For Saturday and Sunday lunch, we just eat whatever happens to be left over for the week. Sunday, I usually try and make something in the morning before we go to church that can be in the crock pot so that it's done when we get home from church and we can just eat because we're starving. But I'm running out of ideas. I've made so many different things in the crock pots and I can't even think of anything new or anything that they absolutely love, so I'll make it again. So I think Sundays when we just get home from lunch, we will eat leftovers and I'll make Sunday dinner, but I also like to keep it simple on Sunday because we usually try and do fun stuff with the kids on Sunday. And so we're just having chicken patty sandwiches, and I have some frozen mozzarella sticks in the freezer we'll probably have with them. The buns can also be used for that because we have some other buns from last week too, so there should be enough. But my kids love to get fast food and they almost always get a chicken sandwich plain or chicken sandwich plain with cheese. We don't go out and get fast food if we can help it anymore because of money. So this is something simple on a Sunday that also gives them something that they love. It takes the place of eating fast food. So it's not a healthy dinner, but it's fine. And then on Monday, we're gonna have ribs. The only reason we're getting these are because they're on sale. They were on sale last week. We had them last week. I haven't made them in years and years and years, but when I saw like how on sale they were, I thought, oh, I'll get them and make them again. I made them. I don't think my youngest son has even had ribs. That's probably how long ago, and he's 8. It's probably how long ago since I made them. Oh my word, he fell in love. He wanted to eat the whole thing. So he's like, please, can we have them again? So since they're on sale, because our sales go from Wednesday and Wednesday, they were still on sale today. So we got that. This is their requested sauce that we use for that. And then we'll have twice baked potatoes with them. I already have cheese for that, and I already have bacon in the freezer that I cooked and then I put in the freezer to save. So they'll go in the potatoes and we'll have a vegetable with that. Other than that, the stuff we got is desserts. And I know you're probably thinking like, whoa, that looks like a lot of desserts. This will last us longer than a week and I won't have to buy so much next week. But some of the things were buy one, get one free or buy 2 and get an extra $1 off. So I like to do that when they're on sale. Same with those icy things. My youngest son loves them and they're like super cheap right now. So I'm still gonna get 2 while they're super cheap because at some point I know they'll go back up. That cereal was 2 for something with an extra $1 off. I wanted a gallon, this is a gallon 2% and a half a gallon of skim. I wanted a gallon of skim, but they were out of it. What else did we get? This is not on our dinner meal this week, but these were buy one, get one free. They're only $5 each. This is something that'll probably be like the next Sunday in the crock pot. You can just layer these. Like you don't have to cook them ahead of time. You can layer them with sauce and cheese or whatever and put them in the crock pot, and they are delicious and super cheap for a meal. And then these are some of the things that will go in the kids' lunches. And that's wheat flour back there. But I think that's everything. So we got all this stuff we needed for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts for like $240. So join me for the rest of the week to see what we make. So filming at night when I'm making dinner and there's all the energy in the house and homework still getting done and all that, it was hard to film. So I did take a few clips of some of the stuff I made. You can see my husband's birthday cake and some of the meals that I started. So I'll show you those little clips now. But as far as filming whole dinners and stuff like that, I did not get done and realized I probably won't in the future. So if I do another one of these, if you want to see another one of these, let me know in the comments. But if I do another one of these, it'll probably just be the grocery shopping and the meal planning and any prep work that I can do before they get home from school. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Here's my husband's birthday cake. He's normally a vanilla person, but I made this for my son and he loved it, so he requested I make it again. It's just box cake mix, some chocolate frosting decorated with some Oreos and Kit Kats. It is delicious. This is me prepping the chicken that we had for dinner. Anyone else cut all the stuff off of a chicken breast? Whenever my husband sees me doing this, he's like, chicken breasts are already clean. And I'm like, no. They have all this fat. There's usually a little gristly, bony piece. I can't stand it. So I already trimmed chicken breast. But our puppy is standing there being quite so happy to take the fat off this chicken. So it's a win-win for everybody. This I just cut up into little chunks and I bake it like this. I used to bake it plain like this, and then everyone could put whatever seasoning they want. But I found this really good rotisserie chicken seasoning, which I'm showing you right here. And I bought it for something else and then thought, oh, well, I need to use this. So I started putting it on this chicken and everybody absolutely loves it. I used to only make 1 pack of chicken. Now I have to make 2 because they eat so much at dinner, but I'm so glad. And then we just had it with these little butter and herb potatoes. Here's what it looked like when it came out of the oven. You kind of like have to break it up with a spoon. It kind of like cooks together, but it's so good and the pieces are so tender. This was the deer meat for what was our daddy tacos, and that was the pan and the oil getting ready to fry the shells. This was for the stir fry. It was a deer stir fry because we used deer meat that my husband got, but I normally make this on the stove, but I was kind of tired that day and thinking to myself, by the time dinner comes, am I going to think I'm too tired to make dinner? So I was like, let me try this in the crock pot. So it's just in there a yellow pepper, a red pepper, onions, and then this is the deer meat that I'm cutting up now. There's a little bit of oil in it. That's olive oil. Here's that teriyaki sauce that I bought. Well, this is the end of another bottle. I think I actually had enough in this bottle. I don't think I opened the new one yet, so that'll be good for next time. And I double the saucy part of the recipe because I like to have the saucy stuff over rice. So I really need to do the figuring out. I put a lot of tablespoons in. I could probably just figure out and put in a quarter cup, but I just double the recipe, so I use the tablespoons as I go. Then in a separate bowl, you got to put flour and water and more teriyaki sauce and whisk that together. And then you dump that over the meat, and it turned out really good in the crock pot. I may do it in the crock pot again because it was, it was just easy, and it could be something that I could start earlier in the day when I have more time and then be ready for dinner. And with this, we just made some brown rice, and I made broccoli extra because my kids will pick the meat out and eat the meat. They don't like peppers and onions. They like broccoli. My husband will eat the peppers and onions. He's not a huge fan of broccoli. He would eat it if I put it in there, but I just kept it separate.
See you on the next video.